Hello library friends, I'm Miss Liz and this is the July edition of Book Briefs. We're going to be going over some of the new books that are going to be hitting our shelves this month. Stay tuned. And we're going to start off with some fiction recommendations, starting with Build Your House Around My Body by Violet Cooper-Smith. It's coming out on July 6th and it should be on our shelves soon after that. And this story is a complicated one. It digs deep into the folklore and the troubled history of Vietnam. It's a ghost story, a revenge tale, and a mystery all wrapped into one story. It is about two different women who go missing. One disappears in 1986 in an abandoned rubber plantation, and the other goes missing in 2011 in Saigon. The one who goes missing in 1986 is the daughter of a wealthy Vietnamese family. She's running from her father when she disappears mysteriously. And the woman who disappears in 2011 is an English teacher who just one day fails to come home to her boyfriend. Now, somehow these two disappearances are linked, otherwise they wouldn't be in the same story, right? But there is no straightforward way that Violet Cooper-Smith is going to tell us about this. We get the whole story through a slowly expanding cast of characters and a timeline that jumps from not only place to place, but time period to time period. So some of the characters who are going to reveal the story to us are employees of the Saigon Spirit Eradication Company, a young boy who is sent to a boarding school for the children of French expatriates, two Frenchmen who are trying to start a business with the Vietnam War on the horizon. Obviously, you can tell we're jumping timelines. And this is a story that weaves itself in and out of history, specifically the history of Vietnam. So you will get not only a story about these two women and how they've disappeared, you will also get a story about the country itself. And if that doesn't sell you on this book, let me read you a quote from Elizabeth Thomas, who is the author of Catherine Holmes, who describes this book as a lush, sultry phantasmagoria of a novel, as playful, hypnotic, and bone-chilling as a cobra rising to strike. And if that doesn't intrigue you, then I'm not sure what will. Now we have a mystery thriller suggestion for you, Kill All Your Darlings by David Bell, which is coming out on July 6th and should be on our shelves soon after that. And this is the story of Connor Nye, who, he's an author, but he hasn't published anything in a very long time. It's his wife and his son died. He hasn't been able to publish anything. Until now, he's finally published a book about the murder of a young woman. Everything's going great. Except, he did not write the book. It is actually a book written by one of his students who's gone missing, and it's just missing, so he figures, why not? I'll publish it. Her work will get recognized. Except, the missing student shows up at his house and she threatens to expose him. And then the police come knocking and they have a couple of questions for Connor, because that murder he wrote about is incredibly similar to a murder that happened on the campus where he teaches 2 years ago. Obviously, they have some questions, but Connor did not write that book. So why did his student, who is technically missing but is not missing because she showed up to blackmail him, know so much about a murder that happened 2 years ago? Well, the twisting story unfolds, and this is a highly anticipated book. A lot of people are really excited to read it. It sounds like it's going to be an excellent twisting, turning, surprising kind of mystery. As a warning for content, it does get into the sexual assault, sexual abuse that happens sometimes in academia, so if you're a little bit squeamish on that subject, then you might want to steer clear of this one, but it does sound like an absolutely excellent book, and I highly recommend you check it out when it hits our shelves. I'd like to start off our nonfiction recommendations with Carry On, Reflections for a New Generation by John Lewis, which comes out on July 13th and will be on our shelves soon after that. It's very likely that you know who John Lewis is, but just in case you don't, he was a Georgia congressman since 1987. He was also very active in the civil rights movement, has continued to be active in different activist groups, different organizations throughout his life. He was born near Troy, Alabama, and wanted to be a preacher growing up, If you've ever read a children's book about preaching to chickens, it was likely the one about John Lewis. He's a very loved, very celebrated, and very written about character. And these reflections are all recorded conversations Lewis had with his editor before his passing. And at 80, having been active in politics and civil rights, it's pretty safe to say that John Lewis had a lot of wisdom left to share with us. And it genuinely just seems right to highlight this book, given his passing last year and all the tumultuous things going on in the world. So we highly recommend that you check out Carry On, Reflections for a New Generation by John Lewis, which is coming out July 13th and will be on our shelves soon after that.